So a rain practice is a practice of acceptance. And so in this practice, it can be useful to bring to mind something that's on your mind. You know, sometimes we notice in our meditation practice that the mind wanders repeatedly to the same thing. Rob Nairn always called that elastic band syndrome. Your mind goes and then you bring it back and it goes back to the same thing. So just check in with how you are in this moment. Um, and if you're feeling a bit like you've had enough challenging this week, then do the rain practice with something that you've found really enjoyable, something that was a joyful moment, or something that you've found nourishing. So you can do the rain practice in relation to that. Or if you want to choose something that's a bit challenging or that's on your mind, then maybe don't choose anything that's too difficult for now. So I'll take us through the usual process of settling ground in resting, and then I'll read a poem, the Guest House poem by Rumi, and then I'll guide us through the acceptance practice of RAIN, which stands for recognize, allow, intimate attention, and non-identification. Okay. So to begin with, checking in with posture, a posture that feels grounded, where the spine feels lengthened and aligned. Choosing a posture that feels relatively comfortable. And our intention for this practice is to explore a process of acceptance through the practice of RAIN. So maybe an intention to not choose anything too difficult to explore. And if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed at the moment, then choosing something that's joyful or something that you've found positive in your life over the last week, and do the RAIN practice in relation to that. An intention to be curious and to be kind to ourselves. And then connecting with your motivation, the reasons why you practice mindfulness meditation, the reasons why you might benefit by cultivating an atmosphere of acceptance in the mind and in daily life. And then becoming aware of the sensations of breathing in the body. And if it supports your mind to settle, you can breathe in a little deeper than normal and breathing out a little longer than normal without any strain. Seeing if it's possible to make the in-breath and the out-breath a similar length. And using phrases might help you. So you might want to breathe in, saying to yourself, this is an in-breath. And as you breathe out, you might like to say to yourself, this is an out-breath. And as you do this, you might notice all kinds of activity happening in the mind. Just letting that be, choosing to focus on regulating the breathing with the phrases, this is an in breath, this is an out breath. And now noticing what it feels like to breathe out, any sense of letting go or releasing. Seeing if the mind can learn from the body. And just as the body releases the out breath, seeing if the mind can release involvement with thoughts. Trusting our thoughts to unfold themselves without our interference. And then allowing the breathing to rest back into its natural rhythm, letting go of the phrases, and being with the body. Curious about whatever sensations are happening, any tinglings or vibrations, intensities. What do you notice happening in the body just now? Feeling the hands where they're resting, on the knees or in the lap. Feeling the sit bones on the seat. Feeling the contact between the feet and the ground. And then becoming aware of the whole of the body, from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head, as we allow the whole body to rest, unconditionally supported by the ground beneath. And just as we can let go and allow the body to rest in this way, allowing the mind to rest with nothing to do, unconditionally supported in the body. Mind resting in the body resting on the ground. And whenever you notice the mind has become distracted, caught up in thinking, becoming curious about where the mind has gone this time, and then gently coming back to grounding the body, connecting with the sensations of breathing in the body, and then opening out from the breathing body to become aware of the whole of our experience in this moment. So before we move into the rain practice, I'll read the guest house poem by Rumi. So just allowing these words to drop into the mind, like pebbles dropping into a pond, just noticing any ripples. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So remaining grounded in the body and connected with the breathing, recognizing whatever's arising in the internal environment of the mind. Maybe thoughts, images, feelings, memories. So recognizing what's happening and allowing what's happening to be just as it is. So this is our usual meditation practice. We recognize or notice what's arising in the mind, moment by moment. And as best we can, allowing it to be just as it is. And sometimes in our meditation practice, we'll notice that there's an issue on the mind. So the mind will be distracted by this issue, and then every time we bring ourselves back into presence, the mind will go back to this issue. So when there's an issue like this on the mind, we can move into our third step of RAIN, which is intimate attention. Now, if there's nothing particular on the mind this evening, then you can continue to practice just awareness of the breathing, or you might choose to bring something to mind that's happened during the week that's been challenging, an issue that you've been ruminating about. Or if you've had enough of difficulty this week, you can also choose to bring to mind a joyful or happy thing that happened this week and give that some intimate attention. So, whatever this issue is, bringing it to mind, allowing ourselves to ponder this issue, giving it space. And then noticing when we bring this issue to mind, do we feel anything in a particular part of the body? Are there any physical sensations that arise when we ponder this issue? If so, can we welcome these sensations, be curious about where they are and how they feel? And now becoming curious about any emotions that relate to this issue. There may be a range of different emotions. Again, seeing if it's possible to be curious about and welcoming of these emotional feelings, if there are any. And now turning our attention to our thinking processes. Do you notice any thoughts, any thinking, any stories that we're telling ourselves in relation to this issue? So becoming curious about that and welcoming again. Noticing whether there are any stories or thoughts that we're buying into. Asking ourselves whether these thoughts, these stories, are they permanent or are they ever changing? Are they true? And then noticing how we're relating to this issue, how we're relating to their sensations, emotions, stories, thoughts. We can ask ourselves, how do I feel about this experience? Maybe this reveals an underlying attitude, maybe an attitude of wanting to get rid of or resistance. Seeing if we can be open and curious about this too. Are you making the issue solid and real? And now zooming out from the issue in the fourth stage of RAIN, non-identification. So zooming out from the issue, becoming aware of the whole of the body, resting on the ground, mind resting in the body, open and aware. And seeing if we can be curious about this issue from a wider perspective. Maybe recognizing that this is just a guest moving through the guest house of the mind, as in Rumi's poem. Can we welcome and entertain them all? Is this issue really who I am, or is it just moving through me? Can I be curious? See what can be learned. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And then letting go of the issue, letting go of having to do anything and simply resting. Mind resting in the body, body resting on the ground. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to achieve. Simply being with our experience as it is now. And as we come to the end of this practice, taking a moment to celebrate our commitment to our mindfulness meditation, celebrating that we've made the time to practice to support our physical and mental well-being, appreciating everyone else here for their presence, and reflecting on the benefits that arise from our meditation practice. Maybe this evening, some insights about the process of acceptance, or maybe insights into the issue we've been contemplating. And cultivating the wish that all the benefits that arise from our meditation practice grow for all of us here and are shared with those around us, in particular all those who are mentioned in the chat, so that the benefits from our meditation practice together ripple out into the world in ever widening circles. So maybe taking some time now to stretch, to roll the shoulders,